Today's story is titled Buried Treasure by The Republic. The link to the story is in the description below. Please enjoy. It's every child's dream to uncover some sort of buried treasure. The idea that mounds of riches lay dormant beneath our feet, hidden in a cave or anchored to the sea, remains a tantalizing fantasy. Given the right kind of ambition, one can push themselves to manifest and act on their pursuit. My childhood bled into my profession as a deep-sea archaeologist. The monotony of unearthing pottery fragments had numbed my initial drive. Every day betrayed my search for the past in a meaningless deluge of reports. Somewhere, in the vastness of the universe, something heard my plight and tossed me a bone. In the campus library, I found a dust-covered account of an unrecorded imperial Spanish convoy that sank in the Atlantic. Gold spun by the New World's inhabitants and hoarded aboard the galleons. I immediately scraped together the funds to finance an excavation team. We were not the first to hunt this forgotten boon. Throughout the text, many crews of the late 18th century cast their die in hopes of striking it rich. The story I followed was one a little too close to my own. Surprisingly, every crew had managed to pull the chest back to the surface. You would expect that there was scarcely anything left, but that's where the texts don't add up. Once the riches were within the clutches of the men, they would always throw the chest back into the depths. The personal trip was the bleakest of them all. Shortly after retrieval, the crew suffered illness. The men accredited the affliction to scurvy, but they committed acts not aligned with the typical symptoms. The crew was cut in half after they reported sultry voices tempting them with greed. The survivors disembarked and left the chest at the bottom of the ocean. We hovered over the site. Nothing seemed unusual, but the atmosphere darkened with black clouds and heavy downpour. Our instruments located the chest, a splinter embedded within white sand. A number of us geared up to hook it to our ship's winch. As it pulled at what could be an archaeologist's career maker, an aching pain took hold of everyone. Like freshly cracked knuckles, the pain ceased once the payload had been secured. We contained it in a large wooden crate and fastened it with heavy cords. Our departure sealed our fate. The skies cleared and the sea had calmed. This would have installed confidence in others, but for us, we noticed that we had not moved 1 inch since hoisting the anchor. A loud clamor caught our attention. Men tried to roll the crate overboard. They said that a woman's voice promised them untold riches if they took the chest for themselves. After arresting them, we posted guards near the payload. Our first 2 casualties came when the renegades butchered the posted crew members. A violent disagreement unfolded. Half our crew died in that contest. That night, I heard a sultry voice. It tempted me with visions of wealth. Its request? Betray my colleagues and sail away with the chest in hand. I wouldn't answer the call, but others did. Day after day, our numbers dwindled one by one until there were only 2 of us left. The 2 of us made a pact to split the contents of the chest after we made port. It was a good deal, but the disembodied voice was determined to wedge itself between us. I denied the influence of its bread. I sought company to relieve the weight of this burden together. We bunked in the same quarters, ate meals, and looked over each other's shoulders when answering the call of nature. No matter what adjustments we made to the navigation, The ship would not move an inch on the radar. We threw out anything that wasn't nailed down, peeled panels off the corridors, ripped out bulky equipment and cumbersome instruments. Everything we removed, other than the core navigation system, was in an attempt to lighten the weight. Hour after hour, day after day, week after week, nothing made the ship move. My remaining company had grown quieter as the days blurred together. He would not answer me even when I used the latrine. I tried to keep civil with him, but every attempt led to further isolation. Eventually, I would be lucky if I even caught a glimpse of the other. I didn't know it then, but that man was planning out my execution. Behind eyes so sharp and focused, he ran all the possibilities of attack. He padded his joints with bundles of cloth, tore off a piece of jagged panel, and slept in hidden corners of the ship's skeleton. In his head, there was no sharing. Instead, all of the riches were his, and I stood between them. Perhaps he didn't mean any harm. If he just put down his instruments and settled this accord with me, then we could avoid any unnecessary bloodshed. I could only assume what was coursing through that mind of his, all the thoughts of approach. Maybe he'd even call off his attempt, deciding that it was more effort than it was worth. Unfortunately, I didn't give him the opportunity to act on his plan, because I came to the same initial conclusion. He didn't put up any struggle in his sleep as I drove my own improvised shiv through his jugular. It is mine. All of it. Mine. It's all mine. It was mine when they spun the gold. It was mine when it was stamped. It was mine when we found it. It was mine from the moment I was born. I just hadn't gotten here yet. My treasure is the only possession I shall take with me to the end. No one will ever lay their filthy palms on what is rightfully mine. This is my last message to you. A warning, really. I will cloister the chest as it carries me to the bottom. Stay away from my treasure.